Hey, what's good? It's your boy here, and we are back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and we've got a defense showcase to go ahead and look at today. Overall, this defense, it did okay. I mean, it didn't do awful. We took a minus 85 on defensive lift here, but we only lost lift from one fight, so that's the result of me running very little defensive mythic heroes on the team and a couple of off-season units as well. So our overall lift loss reduction for one loss was pretty high, but we only took 2 hard losses, and all the rest of the fights were basically just complete wins. And this first fight here doesn't count because this was with the old defense that I had. Yeah, so this one doesn't count. We did win, but it doesn't count. So what were we running this time around? Let's go ahead and take a look. I actually changed it up quite a bit because I was getting real bored of running the same old nonsense over and over again. Just like armor balls on the, what's it called again? The forest map? Luminous Castle, that's the one. So I was getting real tired of running that, so I went back to the good old tried and true Spring Breeze. We're running a Cav line here, which is very familiar for this map in particular. And the idea is that we've got Emblem Erica, who can move 4 spaces and technically 5 because we've got the aided dagger there to allow her to move 1 extra space. Dagger is going to provide Pathfinder to Burger King, and then the Summer Celica is also going to be able to move 1 extra space, and then with her 3 range weapon and Erica's 2 range weapon, we can basically attack all 6 lanes on turn 1, which is pretty disgusting. I've got the catapult there. I was originally planning to run Duma instead of Lay Radar, so we could have like double catapults and have a better chance to break the safety fence. And specifically, if we break a slot 3 or slot 4 safety fence, what that means is that we are just going to completely dominate the bottom, because if you have the safety fence anywhere else, it leaves a blind spot on one of the far corners or somewhere in the middle, possibly, depending on how far you have the safety fence tucked in. So we're going to mobilize on turn 1. This is a turn 1 trap, and if you don't have a safety fence, you're in big trouble here. Now, what's also very interesting is that I don't know how I came up with this idea right before Hoder and Balder are coming out and they can both break the safety fence. So obviously they're going to be fantastic on this team. I could actually take out King Freyr to run Hoder on Anima Season, because Hoder has penalty cleansing. It's not quite as strong as King Freyr's, but it's still pretty strong. And what really makes it better is that she's also going to just break the safety fence straight up. So we don't even need to run the catapult anymore if that's going to be the case. And our 2 offensive player phasers are just going to have complete free reign of the entire bottom section. So that's the idea here. We do have a little bit of protection. The Burger King over here is not going to be as unkillable as he normally is, because we're not really running any supports for these armors. So Female Alir is our far save, and then Burger King is the near save, but they're both pretty easy to take down when you consider we don't have anybody like Seteth or Rhea on the team giving them extra drive buffs or anything like that. So you can player phase these 2 pretty easily, but the idea is that the 2 units who you would really want to get rid of, Erica and Celica, are tucked away in the back, and you're not going to be able to target them with Elm. His undefended will only work on frontline units, so they are safe. And also, King Freyr protects us from other undefended units like Bride Embla. So basically, you have to just tank my offensive units pretty much. So that's basically it. And then Lay Radar, I chose him at the very last minute because I wanted some debuffing on the enemy team. He does a bunch of debuffs. He does Sabotage, he does Discord, and then he also, of course, does the Assigned Decoy. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and quickly take a look at these replays and see how we did here. Now, of course, like I said, the team is going to be much better once we can get Hoder on here. And first guy didn't want any of the smoke. Possible that we were targeting his catapult with the... or targeting his safety fence with the catapult, and he foresaw that he wasn't going to be able to do anything. Alright, so we got Link over here. I guess we could actually turn the animations on. I rarely do this, but for this one, we might as well. We'll break out the animations for this one. Okay, this guy is in big trouble because he don't even have a safety fence to begin with. So Summer Celica, let's talk about her for a little bit, because I know she was very undersold on release. I still think she's very undercooked. I don't think she's like a must summon or anything of that nature. She did see a lot of play in the most recent round of Summoner Duels, and it's really just because she attacks from 3 spaces away, which obviously that's very good. And then if you give her reflex support from Burger King, then she can really abuse the miracle that she's got. If you guys remember Nyx, when she came out and people were giving her miracle, and essentially with the reflex damage, you were able to just take out anybody after miracle procs. It's kind of the same concept with this Celica here. If she's got reflect damage and she's proccing miracle so easily, the amount of reflect damage she's going to end up doing is very high. So that's one way that you can save Celica's DPS, but if you're not running her with Burger King, she's kind of booty. Like, she doesn't really do a lot of DPS, and the Brave attack is nice. The fact that she can't even use her harmonic skill isn't that big of a deal, but it would be nice if she could use hers, because she does have a penalty cleansing one, which is good. So my overall impressions on Summer Celica are the exact same as when I saw her on the banner. She's very mid, but if you pull shenanigans, you can actually get some usage out of her, and I guess she is on the horizon of getting better for Aetherite's defense now, because if we can just break the enemy's fence with Hoder and Balder, that just means that Celica on turn 1 traps is going to be even more effective, right? So, hard to say, like, is she better? She's definitely better considering what we're about to get, but prior to Hoder and Balder, I would have still said Celica's not really a unit you should concern yourself with too much. Wow, even King Freyr was able to get a KO there. That's interesting. Yeah, so this guy, I mean, he's not running the fence, so like I said before, he is definitely in big trouble here. We're just going to beat him to death here. Just take out all of his units. Yeah, and then Athos with the Lin Ring, able to snipe from a very far distance. Also, I have the Micaiah ring on Celica, just in case they take out Burger King or Dagger and I can't use Pathfinder. That still gives us a way to get an extra action on Celica and increase her range. And the gravity from the Micaiah's ring doesn't really bother her too much, because her weapon just lets her hit from 3 spaces. Alright, here's another one. Okay, this guy is running Vale. We've got Atun Micaiah, we've got Sheeta, Seteth, and then Regan and Naga. So he's running a bait team here. Very poor placement for his safety fence against what I'm running here. So like I said, if the safety fence is not in slot 3 or 4, it's not really giving you enough protection against this team that I've got here. So yeah, Celica just free roam, gets a free shot in on Seteth and takes him out pretty easy. And that's not even the half of it either. Okay, so he was able to tank that first shot, but we've got 3 more on the way here. Yeah, the second one was able to beat him. Okay, then of course Erica's going to be able to attack. Alright, so Erica takes out Regan right there. Okay. Alright, then Freyr goes in for an attack. He can't really do much offensively. He could if I gave him better offensive skills, but I don't really have the fodder for that. Like, if I gave him momentum, I would love to, and then give him an AoE. But I don't have that, so I can't do it. Alright, we took another W there. Alright, here is one from Echika. Okay, so this guy, he's got Elm. We've got Emblem Lin. We've got Plumeria. We've got Aided Yunaka, Legendary Sakura, and then Hater. So Elm is able to do some stuff against this team, because you can do undefended on Dagger and then, or Dagger or Lay Radar, and then Lin would be able to snipe both of them pretty easily. So we are making a couple of concessions with this team, because I can't go all in with everything that I would want. Like, ideally, I would want Rhea on this team as well to provide the miracle support to these units, so they have a better shot at living against Lin. But we can't really do that. And this guy just gave up on the spot. I don't even know why. It's not like he was in a hopeless situation. He had moves here. So it's always baffling when people just give up right away. Don't even try. Like, even if you're going to lose, it doesn't matter, right? Like, you can just pop the fence or pop the ladder and get away anyway. So you might as well try. All right, this time we've got Naga, Plumeria, Regan, another Lyn, and then we have Elm and Camilla. So this guy looks like he's going to go for a player face strat here. Okay, Camilla with enough HP to beat the Hex Trap, which I would so much love it if they would just let us upgrade the Hex Trap again. 65 HP is way too easy to beat. We need like 2 more upgrades for the Hex Trap for it to actually be effective. But instead, they just keep on upgrading all those booty structures like, I don't know, the healing tower or the defensive bolt tower or whatever. Like, we don't need upgrades for those, man. We need the Hex Trap to get leveled up again. Alright, this guy's going to try for a hit and run strat here. Now, obviously, this is not going to work anymore once I get Hoder on here. But for the time being, I guess he can get away with it. Alright, Lyn sniping Tree Man here. Okay. Alright, and then of course he's got one more turn of safety fence. I don't mind if the safety fence was still back to 1 turn, but 2 turns is a little bit too much. Like, you just give the opponents way too much free reign when they've got 2 turns of the safety fence. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea for Hoder and Balder to just break them right away. Okay, so he is successfully hitting and running, but then we go ahead and get our Micaiah ring off with Celica, and there we go. We get another attack off. If I could possibly get Erica to get an extra action with an assist, that would also be great. Not sure how I would go about doing that, though, because I would need to run Hathrune on the team for that. But there's not really any room for any more units. Like, it's already... like, the team as it is already exactly as it needs to be. Like, there's no more room for anything else. So, I mean, this is just what it's got to be, man. Okay, so this guy's got Celica of his own, and we did take a hard loss here, so we are about to see Celica go off. Then he's got Elm, Ratatoskr, Legendary Sakura, the Mythic Satyr, and then Emblem Erica there. So he's basically running the same offense units as me. Alright, not going for anything turn 1 by the looks of it. Okay, actually he is. He's going to go ahead and take out Dagger here, which of course means we're not going to be able to use Pathfinder anymore. Alright, and then Ratatoskr puts up her Divine Vein Green. Probably the worst name for that Divine Vein. Alright, another repo. This time he's going in against my Erica. Okay. Alright, then Kanto's all the way back and goes for an undefended on Burger King. Not sure if that really matters here. Now, if I had Duma on the team instead of Lay Radar, I think we win this. Because he's not going to have as much time to mess around, and then we would have probably been able to snipe somebody with Celica. But I don't have to worry about running Duma anymore if I could just run Hoder. So, yeah, I think, by the way, I think Hoder is the better of the two, actually. I think Hoder is better than Balder, because penalty cleansing on a defensive mythic hero is the most perfect thing we could ever ask for. And on top of that, she breaks the fence. Like, she's just really damn near roll compressed to the max for a defensive mythic hero. By comparison, Balder trying to be like a... How do I describe Balder's playstyle? She's like an Omni-Tank, kinda, because she's got a lot of non-pierceable DR. Basically, 100% of her speed as non-pierceable DR against enemies using specials. So that's going to be a lot. She's going to have at least like 50 speed without counting any bonuses or any drive bonuses or anything like that. So she's definitely going to be very strong. But I think Hoder is just better than Balder. I would have liked it if Balder could penalty cleanse as well. It would have been really nice to get that on Dark Season since we've never had it. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. And then Burger King, of course, without any blessings or anything. He's just a complete sitting duck here. Yeah, he's not even going to get Imbue and Reflex because he's at 1 HP now. So yeah, so much for him. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, so we got Easy over here. apparently not too easy if he had to surrender right away. All right, then we got ABC over here. Okay, so this guy, he does have a safety fence, but we are going to hit it. Then he's got Regan, the Emblem Micaiah, Emblem Erica, Plumeria, Emblem Lynn, and then Emblem Sigurd. Lots and lots of Emblem heroes here. So what is he going to do here? Well, there's not really much. Yeah, there's really not much he can do. He went ahead and broke the catapult so he could protect his safety fence, but then he's not able to get Erica out of the way. He might have been thinking he could warp Plumeria next to Erica and then get a dance off and then like reposition and maybe try to get out of the way that way. But we do have copious amounts of warp bubble here. Barricade on this guy, and then what is it again? Higher ground on Alir there. So yeah, we're reaching pretty far in with the warp bubble, so Plumeria wouldn't have been able to warp in. Okay, and then we have one final one to take a look at, and this one was a hard loss, and this time we actually lost Lift. So let's take a look here. So he's got a lot of open spots here. Once again, if I had Duma instead of Ley Radar, we would have broke his safety fence, because it would have targeted the nearest unoccupied, or it misses the unoccupied spaces and then it hits the nearest one. If I were to run Duma, I was going to have him in slot 3 and have the catapults in slot 4, so I would have flipped those around, mainly because Duma would be harder to reach if he was over there. And they can snipe your Duma on turn 1 to avoid him popping Upheaval and breaking your structures. So, yeah, I guess I really should have just ran Duma here. Alright, but we do see the dreaded combo of Camilla plus Legendary Sakura, which is going to beat the hell out of anything. He's also got Duo Plumeria to re-up Camilla's Kanto. Yeah, Burger King without any blessing bonuses or any support is not really looking that crazy. Man, I wonder how player phasing is going to work without the safety fence now. Because remember, they did invent the safety fence as a hard counter to Legendary Sigurd. Because the turn 1 traps back then were really disgusting. Now it's actually way easier to make a turn 1 trap. So how is player phasing going to work out when there's no safety fence at all? It's going to be real interesting to see. Maybe bait strats are going to be back on the menu. Who knows? Because it certainly would be a lot easier to bait. Like, the team that I'm running here, Celica and Erica are great offensive units, but they're not foolproof. Like, it wouldn't be that hard to tank them with a unit like Burger King, or I'm not sure if Fallen Female Alir would be able to do it. She definitely has a good matchup against Celica, but I think Erica has a good matchup against Alir. So she might not work the greatest, but you could just run her as a far save and run somebody who is good against Erica as the near save. So save teams might be back for offense. We're going to have to wait and see. But it is nice to finally get a shake-up here for the Aether Raids meta. Alright, so he's just going ham with Sigurd here. Getting lots of KOs. Alright, and then for sure he's definitely going to be able to get the pots too. Although I do have on my Alir, I've got the Celica ring so she can actually have some reach on her. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard for him to get the pots here. Yeah, there you go. Alright, so that pretty much wraps us up for this showcase for this defense. It didn't do that bad, but obviously, like I've said 100 times, it's going to be much better after we get that Mythic banner that's coming out tomorrow. So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What were you able to do in your season for this round of Aether Raids? Looks like next season is going to be Light and Dark season, so unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use Hodor right away. We're going to have to use Balder next time. Yeah, so I'm probably... Okay, so what we'll do, we'll take out Ley Radar, we'll put in Balder, and then we'll probably just leave King Freyr because I do need someone to penalty cleanse. And I'm pretty sure Balder is going to have a great matchup against Emblem Lynn. So it's not like she's going to be sniped by Emblem Lyn or anything like that. Although we don't have to worry about Elm next season either, so that's another thing to take in mind. But yeah, I think Balder should work out just fine. It's just that Hoder gives us access to a complete other unit. We could take out King Freyr and Lay Radar, put in Hoder in the back, and then probably run Rhea where we have Lay Radar, so we got that extra support and the armored units are a little better off. So yeah, that's all for this one, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.